Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me today for another buyback themed episode here on the channel. So I did one of these recently where I did kind of a little dig into this mini box here that contains all different forms of Topps buybacks from through the years. So I'll save you the long-winded introduction here. Suffice it to say, I love a good buyback card. I've got many thousands of them, more than I should have, probably an unhealthy addiction to buybacks, or at least I did for a few years there. And had a fun time recently kind of pulling some out of this box of yet to be processed buybacks. And I think the star of the show from that video that I did recently was the Carlton Fisk out of 91 Topps that you see in front of you there. And figured we'd take the box back out today and dig through this and maybe pull out another, 5 or 10 and just chat through the pickups. So we start off with a nice 72 here featuring Jim Fregosi of the California Angels. Not much to say about this one. Fregosi was a longtime baseballer, and just a nice portrait image there on the 72 design, the psychedelic tombstone design, which I enjoy quite a bit. And that's from the 2015 original buyback program. Next up, here's a Luis Salazar from 85 Topps. This is a Rediscover Topps from 2017 buyback, and it's the gold foil Rediscover Topps, which is a little bit rarer than the bronze or silver, as you might imagine. And just a nice Padres card there. The third baseman / outfielder. Love the hat with my initials on it there. Let's just pull it random here. Continuing on, we got another Heritage buyback featuring Nelson Bryles. And this one's cool because this is a 68 Cardinals card. And of course, the Cardinals had just won the World Series against my hometown Boston Red Sox in the postseason prior, the infamous 1967 World Series. Even though the Red Sox were on the wrong end of that and lost that World Series, I still think this is a cool card for that reason. And again, I just love all Heritage buybacks. So there's another one of those to join either the Franken set or the Heritage buyback Z folio that I'm building. Of course, no buyback episode here on the channel would be complete without a 90 Topps buyback. So here's the latest card, Luis Aquino, in my foolish attempt to collect the entire 1990 Topps set all over again in buyback format. So that's just a comment that I needed towards that pursuit. And that will be filed away into that specific binder at the conclusion of today's brief episode. Continuing on, here's a nice one. So last time, the star of the show was this Carlton Fisk from 91 Topps. And this time we have another Hall of Famer pulled from the box, the great Paul Molitor on the 84 Topps design. This one I'm really, really attached to. Molitor is somewhat of an underrated player, as much as he can be, as a Hall of Famer and member of the 3,000 career hit club. And on top of that, I just love the 83 and 84 Topps flagship baseball designs. So that one is a total winner. I would imagine that one would make the cut for the Franken set. So again, that's just a random mix set, cards 1 through 792. So the way this works is I will take this Paul Molitor, I'll open the Franken set binder, and I'll go to slot number 60. If it's empty, Molitor goes in. If there's already a buyback from any year, that's number 60, I'll evaluate it against this Paul Molitor. I'll choose the winner to stay in the Franken set, and the loser will be bumped out. So the Franken set is sort of an ever-changing, always living set that's never fully complete and could always be improved upon. And fairly certain, I would imagine, that Paul Molitor is going to make it in there, as I said. Here's one that's maybe just as cool. These I'm a huge fan of, but the short-lived Seattle Pilots franchise. I know a ton of collectors, myself included, who love forgotten teams of the past or teams that no longer exist. The Seattle Pilots seem to be one of the most adored members of that club, and I'm just really tickled pink to get a Pilots Heritage buyback here. This is Greg Goosen, first baseman / outfielder. Of course, this is from 1970 Topps. The only 2 Topps sets to ever have Seattle Pilots cards included in them were the 69 and 70 Topps releases. So I haven't checked in a while, but I think with the passage of time that these Pilots buybacks are kind of becoming sought after by Seattle or Pilots collectors. And glad that I scooped this one up, way back in the day when these really weren't that popular. And that's just a fun Pilots card for the collection there. So really, two stunners in a row there with Molitor and Greg Goosen. We'll keep it rolling here for at least another couple cards. Try to get this out closer to the 10-minute mark. Here's another Heritage box topper buyback. Nice catcher shot here of Dwayne Josephson. The very dated Chicago White Sox uniform on there. Just love that photograph. And yeah, I mean, I said this in the last video, but the buybacks are just a fun way to reappreciate and recollect some of these designs of the past. And I would be happier pulling one of these out of a pack as an insert than I would most of the relatively uninspiring inserts that I seem to get in Topps products these days. Here's another 90, and it just so happens to be another Kansas City Royal. So Frank White will join Luis Aquino, who we saw earlier in the episode in that 1990 buyback binder. Let's pull from the right side here. It seems like maybe some of the stars in this box are to the right. Let's see. Nope, here's another 1990. I would not call John Hart, short-term manager for the Cleveland Indians, a star. But again, that card is in means to an end, plodding away on that 90 Topps buyback set. And then here's where we'll actually probably end it. I like to try to end on a high note when I just randomly pick like a star player or a significant card. This is from the 86 set, 86 Topps flagship release, and it's the 85 record breaker, Doc Gooden. So this is paying tribute to him being the youngest 20-game winner in modern history. It's the stamped Rediscover Topps bronze foil version of that 86 card. And obviously, Gooden had his demons and ran into his personal struggles as his career unfolded. But at the time that card came out, he was just about the biggest name in the hobby. I was like 3 years old at the time, so I can't speak to that from personal experience, but I can imagine based on my conversations with friends of mine who were collectors and a little bit older than me that, Doc Gooden was the man in the mid-'80s. He and Darryl Strawberry, of course, led the Mets to that World Series championship, which we won't speak about as a Red Sox fan here on the channel in '86, so that kind of makes that one even cooler. So a very nice Doc Gooden record breaker. And this one will compete for slot number 202 in the buyback Franken set. So we're going to call it there. That's a wrap for today. Probably looked at between half dozen and 10 of these, but the stars of the show in this installment were definitely the Paul Molitor, the Seattle Pilots Heritage buyback, and the Doc Gooden record breaker. So appreciate you joining me. I hope you find some enjoyment out of these buyback cards. I certainly love them. They're pretty unique, and if there's any interest, I will certainly continue on with this series and delve further into my vast buyback collection. We have only literally scratched the tip of the iceberg here. I'd be willing to bet that I have many thousands of unprocessed buybacks here in the collection, and we've only looked at a small number of those here today. So appreciate you stopping by to spend some of your valuable time with me here on the channel. And we'll certainly be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Until then, stay safe and take care.